How's it going, everybody? On the BTCReaper, my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading while the price is going up or down. So over on Dixie for the daily, we did see a very strong push up with crypto, so this is interesting. This could be the beginning of the correlation as the dollar index may start to look a little more appealing with the change of the presidency here. Our stochastic does want to head up, RSI is pushing forward, VWAP is gaining strength, and money flow is in the green, so that is positive. If that VWAP stays bullish, that momentum will continue forward with that green dot, and that money flow will remain green, and we would see a continuation forward. Remember, we did have that double bottom possibility. We did have a potential rejection, but we did make a bounce, and this would be our retest, so you would want to see a pullback, and then a continuation that would push us to that 108 area. So over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we do have a little bit of flatness here. This is starting for tomorrow, so I would watch. This could drop down. Maybe our altcoins will get the boom, as with dollar index and other things looking more appealing, altcoins would be more risky than Bitcoin, so there may be a little more risk on buying for our altcoins. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to pull back. Momentum is rounding. Money flow is pulling back. And that VWAP is favoring bearish, so I would watch as that VWAP continues to favor bearish here. It does give us that possibility of continuing that rejection. Over on total for the daily, we did break away from this triangle, so we did just run right through it. We didn't really get a solid retest, but we did say to watch for a break through that golden pocket. We will delete this triangle at this point, as it's really shot with the way we manipulated down and the way we are pushing up. So we pretty much have a rising channel or a bullish continuation trying to form here. That bullish continuation could have a higher high with some higher lows in this range. Those highs and lows do need to continue above that golden pocket though. If our highs and lows do not continue above that golden pocket, then it's very likely we would pull away. Our stochastic is starting to push up, RSI is remaining bullish, VWAP is bullish, momentum is gaining strength, and that money flow is well in the green, so we do look pretty positive here. I would watch again for that VWAP to stay bullish here on those lower time frames. If that VWAP stays bullish and gets a bounce here, we will see momentum remain green, and that will help push that money flow higher. If that momentum starts to round away, we do have that red dot. So if that momentum rounds away, money flow will weaken, and then we could weaken those higher time frames. Again, just watch for a retest of this consolidation range. If we get a retest and a bounce, that would be positive. Or if we continue off the top of this golden pocket, that would be more ideal, as that would give us those higher highs with higher lows in this range right here. So we do have a little bit of a bullish continuation going on. We do want to see that continue with these highs and lows not connecting and us holding that golden pocket area. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did see, did not mean to do that. We did see a little bit of a good push up. So we do have a new high here. We did hit right around 77K. Let me just change my mouse setting. There we go. Around 76,885. So that is positive. Stochastic is pushing up, VWAP is gaining strength, our money flow is in the green, and that momentum is pushing forward. So all in all, we do look positive, we are continuing forward, and we did get the more positive of the two scenarios. So hopefully we see things change in the crypto market. Remember, Gary Gensler may be getting fired. If he does, that could be good for some of the altcoins you see on our list here. So over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs. Watch if we can continue to get higher lows that do not connect. If we can, we could push forward. Ideally, we would push forward here, stay above these EMA bands, and fill that gap and continue for a higher high, breaking or testing that 78K. But just watch these EMA bands as they are starting to round. Remember, when your EMA bands start to round, that's when price can start to come down. Our stochastic is starting to push down, RSI is weakening, that VWAP is in the bearish territory, and money flow is starting to pull back. So watch that VWAP. If it continues to push down, we do have a lower high. So if we get consistent lows and fail to get back above that neutral, then bears can still gain control and start to push us away. So we did get a very quick push up. Remember, when you get a quick push up, usually you do see a quick push down. So we will delete our head and shoulder, as we did get our break up and then some. So over on the daily, stochastic is pushing forward. This is on Bitcoin. VWAP is pushing forward. I would watch. VWAP does want to round, so watch if we round here and make a consistent high. We would want to stay above that neutral. If we don't stay above the neutral here, then we could end up breaking away, but remember that would take several days to see if that happens. Momentum is pushing up, stochastics gaining strength, RSI is in the bullish territory, so the daily does look positive for now. Watch those lower time frames to continue that positivity. Over on the 1 hour, we're going to delete this line here as it's a little random. So over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows, so we do have the potential for that bullish continuation. Stochastic is starting to pull back, RSI is starting to weaken, so I would watch. If that stochastic continues to push down here, price is likely going to follow, and again, those EMA bands are starting to curl, but that doesn't mean we have to break down. Back here, they did curl, but we did ultimately push forward. VWAP is starting to favor bearish lows, so watch as we have a lower high. If we get lower or consistent lows and fail to get above that neutral on the 1 hour, we will see those higher time frames weaken, and we will start to retrace these gains. Over on graph, ideally you would see on Bitcoin any kind of psychological area, so we would want to push off the top of this Fibonacci range. If we can, then we will redraw this range, and then we can continue forward from there. Our stochastic is pushing forward, VWAP is pushing forward, so we do look positive. Remember, we want to stay above that range though, or at least stay above this 72. I'd say ideally above 68. If we broke below that 68, that would probably be the max pain area, because then we could get a lower low and then start a bearish trend. So over on graph for the daily, we are trying to round forward. Stochastic is gaining strength. RSI is pushing up. VWAP does have a higher high and a higher low. So that higher high and higher low is pushing momentum higher with the double green dot, suggesting momentum wants to continue up, and that money flow can continue in the green, giving us further buying pressure to push us toward that 16,316 and continue higher. We could have an inverted head and shoulders, so maybe we hit that, do a little pull back, and then continue forward toward that EMA level. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have higher highs and higher lows, so we do have a bit of a bullish continuation. This is positive. Again, watch for that to continue. Our EMA bands are pretty straight, continuing above those higher EMA bands. The lower ones are breaking above, so that is positive. Stochastic does want to round. VWAP is starting to pull back. Money flow is starting to weaken, so watch that VWAP. If that VWAP breaks for lower highs, we could have a lower high here, and then lower lows compared to here and here. Then we could see momentum break down, money flow would round, and we could weaken those higher time frames if we're not careful. So over on Anchor for the daily, again, potential inverted head and shoulders if we do a little bit of a retest and then a push forward. Stochastic is pushing up, VWAP is gaining strength, momentum is pushing forward, money flow is in the green, so we do look positive to at least push toward that 2673 and potentially continue toward our black EMA right around that 30-cent level. So over on the 1 hour, our momentum is starting to get lower highs. I would watch. Remember, as that momentum pushes down and price pushes up, that does create a bearish divergence. That bearish divergence can end up spilling you to the downside. We also have a gap to the downside here, right around that 2461. So again, remember, gaps fill. That could be a retest of our EMA and then a continuation forward. I would just watch for a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder on this 1 hour, because that could end up invalidating that daily and pushing us lower. Stochastic does want to round. VWAP is starting to break down, so watch that VWAP. We could have a lower high. If we get lower lows and stay below that neutral, momentum will push down, money flow will weaken, and higher time frames will start to weaken after a few hours. Over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to break that 300 EMA, so watch if we can continue. Right now, we are also attempting to reject that 54 support that we said we could retest yesterday. Stochastic is pushing up, VWAP is gaining strength with higher highs and higher lows. Watch for that to continue. If it does, this could be a double bottom that could break us further toward that 57 for a continuation, and possibly seeing this flag actually coming to fruition. That's why we did not delete it yet. Momentum is pushing forward, money flow is in the green, so we do look positive here on the daily. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs with higher lows, so again, we are continuing forward, continuing that bullish continuation. That is positive. Stochastic does want to round. Momentum is pushing down. VWAP is pushing down as well. And money flow is starting to weaken. So watch that VWAP close. If we favor below that neutral, we could end up seeing a shoulder, head, and shoulder forming, or just a higher high with a higher low, and then pushing down, rejecting that bullish trend, and retesting our EMA. So watch for a head and shoulder, or watch for a lower low. If we get either of those, then we could end up retesting our EMA. If we break that, that's where we will start to retest other zones. So that VWAP is pushing down, watch for lower lows or consistent lows with lower highs. So over on Algo for the daily, we do have the potential for this to be a descending channel. A descending channel here would push you forward, so that could try to test that 1350. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is gaining strength. Our VWAP, that yellow wave, is pushing up and momentum is gaining strength. So overall, we do look positive, and that money flow does have the potential to bounce off the neutral and stay green, showing that we have further buying pressure, and that would again help us push toward that 1350 resistance. If we see that continue on those lower time frames, that's where we could break that and then continue higher. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic does want to round away, and momentum is starting to round as well. That VWAP does have a potential lower high, so watch for lower lows and then a rejection of that neutral. If we see that, momentum will start to push down, money flow will continue to weaken, and then we could retrace some of our gains. Again, watch our 300 EMA. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I appreciate all of you. Hit the like and subscribe, as well as joining our Discord with that link in the comment or link down below. Again,